Okay, Cliff, I need to start off by apologizing to you yesterday for coming down so hard on you. I didn't mean to make you cry like you did, where you whimpering, where you whimpering to me on the phone. Yeah, well, your brother might come on my defense and say, yeah, he cried to me on the phone. And his very beautiful wife says, yeah, I remember him crying too. I figured I would just mess with you. But yesterday was a good one. I really enjoyed our discussion yesterday. Now let's dive into this. We're going to start with your New York Giants. And what I want to say is, I know you're going to say, don't ramble on like you always do. I'm going to make it short and sweet. Unfortunately, short and sweet is about 20 minutes with me. But, anyways, what I was going to say is the Giants made the right choice because that cornerback is top notch, if you ask me.
Mhm.
Plus, the receivers, they seem like more slot receivers. And slot receivers, to me, should never be drafted in the first round. They either use usually later draft picks or undrafted. A lot of them appear like that's like you said, Zay Flowers. They were saying something about him being a slot receiver, and so is this guy Addison, who I thought the Bills would take. I'm like, wait a minute, I go a slot receiver that high? I just it's too high. The possession receiver, so you could get one later on. I just want to know what your opinion is on what your Giants did.
Yeah, you have to obviously it's very hard to keep up with all these college guys. I look at the rankings before the draft, but I don't really know who really is the best fit. Yeah, the Giants drafted for need, right? They need corner help. They need defensive backs.
We were
Um,
talking about that prior to the draft too.
yeah, they need a receiver as well,
Well, yeah, but let's
right?
face it, those were reaches to me.
Well, I don't know if they were reaches. What the funny part is when the Giants were drafting, four receivers went off the board. Four in a row, which I think is the first time that's ever happened.
I remember you telling me that. I know if I
Drafted four.
remember three, and you says
Yeah,
no, it was actually four. I was like,
yeah.
wow, and they
So,
were
so
later picks too.
right. So there was a lot of speculation that the Giants were going to go after one of those wide receivers. Being that four went off the board, then the Giants traded up one spot to go after this kid.
They wanted to make sure they got him.
I, that to me was a bizarre move, but what do I know?
Well, they
You
got the guy. What was I gonna
got
say?
the guy they wanted,
Fifth
right?
and
So
the seventh round pick isn't a big deal. They might later on in this draft might trade other things to get those draft picks back. But
right.
those did it last year, so we'll
The
have to see.
the bottom line is, this is really hindsight's 2020, right? If there's a guy that you like, trading a fifth and a seventh to make sure you get your guy is not really a big thing, right?
Not
When you
really.
look at the grand scheme of things,
Nah,
if
not at
they
all.
if they didn't make that move and didn't move up one spot to get him, and the team in front of them, I guess was Jacksonville. If Jacksonville took their guy and he turns out to be an all pro, I mean, they'll regret that for years. And that's one of the things that you'll never know, right? You'll never know. The Giants will never tell you. Teams never tell you, well, this is we really wanted him. They're never really going to tell you that.
No,
They
because
get
that gives it away. And
right.
the other
Not
thing
that they
is,
give it away. They just don't want that out there, right? They don't want
yeah,
right. So the Giants, listen, we don't know if those four receivers didn't go off the board, right? Prior to the Giants picking, the Giants may have wanted one of those guys.
well, they could have traded up, but they weren't going to do that. Like I said,
They may have tried
I
to
think
trade
they made the
Bill.
right choice.
Bill, don't assume that they didn't try to trade up to get one of those guys.
No, you're right. I'm not going to say they didn't.
Right.
I still think overall the Giants got a really good player.
Yeah. All right. So
That's what I'm saying.
back to my assessment of this guy, looking at the film on him. Physical, big, solid, not afraid to tackle, big, strong, a lot of speed. This guy looks like he's going to be a stud, right? So I like it. I like it a lot after researching this guy.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say I was hoping they would get him before the draft. I wasn't. I didn't. I looked at the cornerbacks and I knew that was a need.
yeah.
He was ranked like the third best corner in the draft. And if you look at CBS sports rankings, they had him 10th overall. They had three cornerbacks ranked in the top 10 overall. Okay. He was the third and he was the 10th overall pick. So it looks like the Giants got best available.
Yep.
And they drafted for a position of need. How can you not like that? I mean, time will tell, obviously. But again, what do you want in a corner? You want a tall corner that has speed. You got that. You want a physical corner that can tackle. You got that. You want a guy that can blanket cover. He's got that. He could cover a one-on-one. I'm sure he can fit into any scheme. If in my opinion, if a corner is good with single coverage, one-on-one coverage, and not familiar with zone, he could learn zone very easily.
Well, yeah, that's
Yeah.
what coaching's about.
Exactly. So I'm happy. Let's move on
Okay.
to your Bills. Talk about your Bills.
Here's the thing. I was thinking Addison, and then when I saw what they said
The
about,
wide receiver?
yeah, he's a wide
Okay.
receiver, Addison. So at one point I was hoping to get him. Then I found out he's nothing more than a glorified slot receiver. Like I said prior to that about the receiving core, a lot of them are just nothing but more or less slot receivers. So I'm
He
like,
would have been a good role player, Bill.
you're an idiot. But anyways, so so I says, nah, I go, I think that Bills, slot receivers, like I said before, they usually go in the late round, sometimes undrafted. So I think the Bills made the right choice. They traded up 2 spots to get the tight end. Now, remember what we talked about yesterday about Josh Allen's woes in the red zone?
Yes.
And the one thing, and of course, a lot of these people like saying, "Oh, all the Bills drafted was almost like a glorified slot receiver." In other words, the Bills had no problem moving the ball in between the 20s. They had no problem at all. They got over 400 yards of total offense, but in the red zone, that's where they struggled. And supposedly, the one thing that caught my attention was they're talking about him in the red zone. That I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think they said about him scoring on 16 targets. I don't know if it was in the season or his career there. 16 targets, he caught 16 touchdown passes. So he seems like a good target for the red zone, and that's where the Bills struggle.
Bill, look at the NFL. Look at high-powered offenses. Over the last several years, quarterbacks generally go to their tight end inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah.
Look at Mahomes and Kelsey.
Yeah.
Just look at there's so many QB tight end connections. Remember who did Brady go to?
Gronkowski.
Gronkowski, right? You go for a big guy with good hands that can, basically box guys out and go up.
Good hands, they said also.
Right. So I don't know who the Bills drafted. I know they drafted a tight end. I'm gonna guess. I mean, obviously, tight ends are generally tall. Usually, 6'4".
He's almost
short tight end. How tall is he?
I think 6'3 1/4, 6'3
Oh, that's
and a
it.
half.
Okay.
Good
Yeah.
hands. They always say about good route running, really good hands, and that's what they need in the red zone.
Well, Bill, if you're a tight end, right, and you're not known for blocking, you better have good hands.
Well, Dawson Knox, who I really like, but he's not known for blocking either. But he's had a problem with drops. Now he was good. He's good at times in the red zone. Don't get me wrong. He scored touchdowns, but they need more weapons. I think Josh Allen would feel more comfortable with a guy with really good hands. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but the bottom line is, I don't care what the Bills say. Oh, how are they going to utilize them? It's going to be a 12 set and this. They were looking for 2 tight end sets for the last 3 years. They might have just found one, and they needed a red zone threat. They got that. And they're saying, well, he's a liability in blocking. Yeah, you're right. There's only one problem. Do the Bills really even run the ball that much?
Bill, how many, if you look at the NFL, go up and down the NFL rosters and look at tight ends, how many tight ends that are big name tight ends that when I say big name, I'm talking about guys that, are in the highlight field reels. You don't see blocking tight ends, making it to the, you don't really, they don't glorify blocks, right?
No, they don't.
The tight ends that actually are of note are the ones that are receiving tight ends. That's the way it is now. You don't get those blocking tight ends. The days of Mark Bavaro are gone. A guy that could catch and block.
Yeah.
You don't have
Jason Witten or even Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah, Gronkowski, Witten, those guys could block too. There's a handful of them, right?
It's rare that you see him constantly like that.
Look at the guy that Giants just got, Waller. He can't block. I don't think he knows how to block, right? He's a receiver.
See the guy they got from the Raiders?
Yes. Yeah, Darren Waller.
Very solid catcher, though.
He's a solid catcher. I mean, the only problem with him is injury, right? He gets injured a lot. He's always on the injured list, right? He misses a lot of games. So if he could stay healthy, that's a good pickup.
Okay, the bottom line is, do you like what the Giants did overall?
Oh yeah, Bill. Obviously, I mean, I'm not an expert. You're not an expert. Anybody that does these YouTube channels that's not being paid by
we're not experts. I just watched the draft for like over 30 years, so I kind of pick up on things.
here's what I do, Bill, and I look at I like to look at CBS Sportsline rankings, and let's talk about one other New York team because this fits right into what I was about to talk about, right? The CBS Sports rankings. That's why I look at positions. I look at how they rank each player in each position. The Jets took an edge rusher, and I think they picked 14th. They picked
They picked 15th.
15th. Okay, so they picked 15th. They picked Will McDonald, the fourth, who was ranked 52 overall.
That was a reach.
He was only ranked the 10th best. Well, he was ranked the 10th best edge rusher. Oh my God! I mean, listen, maybe the Jets know something, but based on where the experts had this guy ranked, that seems like a reach. Yeah, it definitely seems like a reach. Now, if I'm a Jet fan, I'm probably not happy with that pick, but then again, time will tell. You never know.
I thought the Jets were really going to go for an offensive tackle. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to see. You have anything else to add?
No, I don't have anything else to add. But for a lot of your newer fans or listeners, I don't think they got that inside joke about role player. So I don't want them to think that was
I know
a joke.
we could do a little bit of a spoot on that.
Let me do a quick explanation for any of you new listeners. Bill here is on record saying that the Bills offense has Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, and everybody else that plays for the offense is a role player. He thinks they're all role players playing with two starters and a bunch of role players. So my inside joke to Bill is every time we talk about somebody that's not Stephon Diggs or Josh Allen is playing on the Bills offense, he's a role player. And I'll continue with that joke. So we'll see.
Yeah, you also sent a message on that. Well, tell Brendan to stop drafting role players.
Yeah, we'll see if this new tight end is a starter or a role player. What do you think? Is he going to be a starter or a role player?
I'm going to say he's going to be in between. I think he's more of a.
Now we have a new category. Okay.
Well, like I said, they keep saying he's kind of a slot guy. That's not, which is good. You can move the chains. But I'm more concerned about the red zone. If he's, I think that's why the Bills got him. Good hands, red zone. Let's face it, the last 2 years they were not good in the red zone. This is why I think they draft him. This is why I like to pick.
Well, let me close on one more thing because I don't even know the answer to this. They still have Devin Singletary, right?
No, he's gone.
Oh, he is gone.
I forgot where he ended up, but he's gone.
Who's going to be carrying the ball for them?
I'm going to say it's going to be Cooks, the guy that did last year, and then they got the running back from the Patriots on this thing. There's also another running back. I forgot the guy's name.
Who from the Patriots?
The running back the Patriots had last year. I can't remember his name, but yeah,
they got him in the off season.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So are they? Do you think they'd be drafting a running back?
The Bills?
Yeah.
They don't really utilize it. They could, but I'm not really sure. We'll have to see. Sometimes they'll trick it. I think what they should do, since there's 2 days left of the draft, I think they're going to probably have to get not a tight end. I mean, a linebacker because they lost Edmonds. You know what I mean? They're going to probably want to replace him.
And what's up with oh my God, the guy they got from Denver that was in LA. Who's the big linebacker they got that got injured last year? I'm getting old. I can't remember his name. The linebacker that they got last year, the stud linebacker that won a Super Bowl with Denver and the Rams.
Oh, you're talking about Von Miller.
Von Miller, yeah. Is he still? I don't even know. Is he still on the roster?
Well, yeah. They signed him for originally. Yes. It sounds 6 years, but it's really a 3-year deal. He got hurt last year.
Yeah, I know he got hurt. Is he okay? Is he starting this year coming up?
I think he should be ready because he thought he was going to finish the season. And Brandon Beane says, no, we're shutting you down. So I haven't heard any word, but I think, so I'm not a doctor. I didn't really hear much, but I think he should be ready for the season. I think. Hoping, actually. So we're also going to do another video tomorrow about today's draft. And then we're going to have a lot more to say.
Yeah.
So that being said, if you like this channel, please hit the subscribe button. Also share it, hit the notification so you know when our next videos are coming out. And also please hit the like button. Have anything else to add, Cliff?
No, just looking forward. Bill, let me just ask you a quick question here. Tonight, it starts at 7 Eastern, right?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, what do they do? They just do just the second and third round? I don't even remember.
Yeah, second and
Yeah,
third
okay.
round, and then
I-
tomorrow will be
I
fourth.
wish they didn't drag this out the way they do.
I know.
Just
It's cost money.
yes, obviously.
Okay.
All right, Bill, thanks. We'll talk to you, man.
Yeah, talk to you.